Hello YouTube, I am back with another video, and recently I realized that my folds and wrinkles were not really at the level I wanted them to be, so I just did a study to see if I really understood the workings behind how folds occur and the different variations. This is based on a photo which I will show on screen for those who are curious that I did stumble across on Pinterest, and I just brought it to Procreate and immediately went to work. Now, it's important to not just replicate what you see, but to try to understand what's going on. When working on just like, a line drawing with no types of shading or any rendering, it's best to keep in mind that folds happen when a stretch and pinch occurs in the fabric. Before, when I was pretty a novice at this, I would just draw like lines in places like the armpit, elbow, waist, crotch, and knee, because that's where I usually saw folds being drawn by other artists. Which isn't necessarily an incorrect way of going about it, but that type of thinking is a bit too surface level. And you really wouldn't be able to draw fabric or drapery from imagination that way. Hence why I'm learning about the stretch and pinch in this fabric, which it does sort of help me for later pieces. The places that I did mention before, like the armpit and elbow, creates points of tension, hence why the folds and wrinkles are coming from those areas. Another thing I needed to keep in mind is how the fabric behaves on the figure. It's easy to just go, overboard and just draw lines and make all sorts of folds, but different clothes and different fabrics create different types of folds. Baggy and loose clothing was a weak point that I had, hence why I chose this reference in particular to study out from. And after doing this photo study, I will say I did learn quite a bit. The one thing that I guess it's obvious that I had to keep in mind was gravity. And notice how on the top of the woman's clothing there aren't that much tension points besides maybe the shoulders, but when going down the folds start bundling up. And it's important to understand this because whenever I want to draw baggy clothing or anything with a loose fit, I can now recall this study and apply what I learned to other pieces of art that I may do in the future. One last thing that really solidified when I was doing the studies, that when doing shading, it's best to keep in mind, like any other painting or piece, there's only ever two types of edges. There are hard edges and soft edges. Hard edges signify drastic, plane changes, while soft edges signify a curvature in the fabric. It's sort of like the difference when shading a cube and a sphere. And yeah, I believe this study took me, about 3 to 4 hours to complete, which isn't a long time in the grand scheme of things, and I'm sure if I took more time doing this, I could bring this even further, but even so, I'm quite happy with how this came out. Like with anything that you may have trouble drawing or, using your mind or trying to remember, it's always good to use reference and to do some studies. You can say that the goal is to bring your visual library up to a point where you can draw what you want to draw without necessarily having to use any reference, and I will say that I do feel much more confident in drawing and rendering folds after this study. So yeah, that's technically it. I hope you liked this video. I am working on another analysis along with another video of me talking about something I recently watched, so I hope you guys are looking forward to that. Again, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe if you so please to do so. And yeah, I hope to see you in the next one.
Please don't take off my mask.